So I guess it's good to start now, and it's nice to be back here. And then just a few hours ago, we tried to be fresh, so we changed our shirts from red and blue to blue, and so it's quite fresh. And also I need to tell you that our university got exchange program. The school at La Villette, Jim is here, Jim Nyo is here. And so we are accepting a few students at my university, and we are having good relationship. I think it started from here. So I think that this is not just the end. I hope just we are going to continue the relationship. And today, we are not going to show just only new works, because some of you were not old enough. Because I realized, 10 years ago, some of you were just only junior high school students, and some of them became architects. 10 years is quite a long time. For me, 10 years is very short. So we need to show our same project as before, because we need to make sure that everybody understands the background. And also, we are going to show new projects as well. So I'll let my boss to keep talking. So Yui, could you take over?
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting us to this lecture. So I'll start and I'll do the first part. So, okay. Okay, as you can see, we are always red and blue. So my iPhone is red, and my socks are red. My bottle is red. So, and he's always in blue. And when we decide we are red and blue, we decide everything we share is yellow. Actually, we drive a Citroen Ducibo, yellow Ducibo. And then we got a baby, we got a daughter. And so we decide she's in yellow, and then we got a son. So we thought he would be in green. He would be yellow, but my daughter said he should be in green. So my family is like this. We found a wonderful artwork at Pompidou Center. Yeah, so our family is like a traffic signal, and the reason why I start talk about my family is that family is quite important to understand happiness. We design architecture for the happiness of the people. So to design architecture, we need to know what happiness is. Okay. And I'll talk about a very old project. This is called Rule House. Yeah, just a little bit. So we met a wonderful family, and they said they love to have lunch on top of the roof. So we designed this house. So there is a table and benches, and also there's a kitchen behind, and also there's a shower to take shower in the summer. And it was when we heard that they love to have lunch on top of the roof, it was hard to believe. Then they showed us a picture to prove they were living in the quite traditional old Japanese house, and they were having lunch on top of this roof. You can see there is no handrail, and ceramic tiles are falling off. It's quite dangerous. So this house was built like this, and so this house is located at the edge of the housing area, so they can enjoy the view of the mountain and the valley from the roof. And when we designed this, we thought we might need a handrail for the planning application. But actually, the husband said, "Have you ever seen any handrails on the house around there?" Yeah, this house doesn't have a handrail, so he convinced us they don't need handrail. So we didn't put any handrail. And after that, we got a call from the principal of Fuji Kindergarten, and he saw our rule house on the magazine, and he loved that, and he called us, and he said he wants us to design the rule house for 500 children. And we went to see him, and this is the old building of Fuji Kindergarten. And nice thing about this old building is that the corridor was external. So he walked along this corridor, back and forth, and when he popped his head into his classroom, we could hear the voices of the children. It was so nice. And there are big trees. The tree is about 30 meters high. It is big, and the playground is also quite big, and the atmosphere here was so nice. And we have children, so we know that the children always love to make circle. It's kind of genetic instinct for them. So we came up to this idea. So we made a donut-shaped kindergarten, and we covered the roof with wooden deck, and the children can running on the roof all day long, and also the principal, he doesn't need to stop. He can keep walking along the corridor. And you can see there are the big trees is popping out. This is how it's built. There are many skylights too. And this is how we keep the trees. Actually, it's... This is how we keep the trees. Yeah, it's easy to keep the tree from on the ground, but if we cut the root, it would die. So we did a kind of excavation to make sure we don't cut any root. So yeah, so we designed a special base which doesn't cut the root of the tree. And then we built this. And the principal liked row house very much. So he said, I don't want any handrail around the edge of the roof. And he was serious. So we said, it's a kind of difficult. But he said, how about sticking out nets at the edge of the roof to catch the children who had fallen off? So he was serious. So we made a drawing, and we bring the drawing to the planning application authority. And they said, it's a kind, are you sure? Are you crazy? So we gave up his idea. So we have to put the handrail around the edge of the roof. But we used his idea around the tree. So we put net around the tree. And we had, this rope is for the planning application. But it's nothing to do with kids. So kids love to fall off to the net. So there's more and more and more. Sometimes 40 children are around the tree. Children love the tree. And you can see he's eating trees. And we have to put the handrail. We had to design the handrail, but we designed a special handrail where children cannot put their head out, but they can pull their legs out. So the 500 children can sit on the edge of the roof. So monkeys behind the bar, and the feeding time. And in this kindergarten, the ceiling height is very low, so we can see what's going on under the roof and what's going on the roof at the same time. And when construction was finished, we were surrounded by 500 children. It was so touching. Yeah, I still remember the moment when children get into this kindergarten and they start climbing up the roof and they start running on the roof. It was like this architecture start to breathe like an animal. And after that, we got a call from the Ministry of Culture. Wonderful things happened. Your kindergarten was selected the best school in last 50 years from OECD. Do you know OECD? Organization of Economic and from the UNESCO. Best school in the world in last 50 years. Yeah, and this is a gargoyle to collect the water and leaves. and the teacher is teaching to the children. When it rains, the water makes a kind of water get together, and it makes stream, and it becomes river, something like that. So in this kindergarten, teacher is trying to teach many things using architecture. And this is the lake washing place, and you can see the water tap is free shape, so children can spray the water to their friend. And you can see he is not washing his leg, he is putting water in his boot. And even the shape is oval. The window is as we designed the sliding doors. So there are 6 layers. When we open all the doors, it becomes 1/6. And this is a classroom. You can see there is no wall between classroom. So the children who doesn't like his classroom can go to next classroom. So we asked principal, is it okay? He can go to the next classroom. He escaped. And he said, yeah, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. You don't need to worry about it, because he will come back because it's round. And he comes back. And also, there are many visitors after this kindergarten was built. And one day, a German professor came and she said, what would you do when it rains? Children would get wet. And the principal said, yeah, when children get wet, they change their clothes in Japan. Yeah, that's what the principal said. And the professor said, but still they get wet. And the principal said, yeah, it's okay. Children are waterproof. And this is what happens in rainy day in this kindergarten. Yet you can see children doesn't melt in the rain. And when we and there is no wall between classroom, you can hear the noise from the next classroom. But the principal said the noise is quite important for the children, for their growth. Yeah, I can show this.
Yeah, just this is a bit complicated, so I'm going to talk. This is not Japan, obviously. And you can hear the beep from the background. And actually, when we were in that jungle, we couldn't hear this background noise. But I realized, back in Tokyo, the noise is in that microphone. And the scientist explained, when you're in jungle, you cancel the background noise. Back in Tokyo, you can't cancel because you're not jungle anymore. And also scientists explained, usually you don't hear body noise, respiratory system, and so all these kind of cardiovascular system, and also just the heartbeat, all these disappears because you cancel it. But once you dive under the water, you start listening to your body noise because you are disconnected from the rest of the world. And now just that we know that some school buildings are making problem because it's quite well made. It cut the children off from the rest of the world. Then they start listening to the body noise. So sometimes we found out it's better to be outside, So you're worried about how we can keep the kids from getting wet or different temperature, but that is weird how we are designed for. Default is background noise and also different temperature. And some people say, oh, it's cold outside and what's going to happen? But in the summer, you go to beach, beach is very hot. You go to hot place in summer. In the winter, you go to skiing. It's much colder. So, that is what human being. Okay? So I'm saying that Fuji Kindergarten is always, okay? The Fuji Kindergarten is always open to the outside and so background noise, but they can listen to, all the what teacher says. By the way, before I forget, somebody whoever make good mistake, not mistake, sorry, mistake, who make good question, they will get, the person get the book, So you have to prepare the good question, not bad question. Okay, and also after that, some books are available, so you can come to us. Okay.
Yeah, we designed this box, lightweight box, to between classroom, and we did workshop with children. Yeah, they supposed to help us, but they didn't help us at all. Yeah, yeah, it's not boring. Yeah, he did by himself. Yeah. And after that, they didn't help us, so teacher made this configuration after that. So they can change the configuration time to time. So it works when they have an exhibition. Yeah. And because there is no wall, we designed a special hand washing place for children. So when they want to wash their hands, they need to talk each other. So it's like a well, and this works as a flower pot at the time of Christmas. And there's a tree in the middle of classroom. Yeah. So children can fish their friends through net. Yeah. Monkeys on the net. Yeah, they can looking down. And the cute monkeys on the skylight. So each classroom has 2 skylights. So at the time of Christmas, Santa Claus brings present to the children through this skylight. But one day we got a call because the principal called a very authentic Santa Claus. He stuck in this window, and so he has to, I guess. He's not Japanese, he's American Santa Claus, so he stuck in this skylight. And because there is no wall, the switch of the light bulb is hanging down from the ceiling. So when we put one string, we can lit the 3 light bulbs. So this is how we, raise the consciousness of energy of the children. And then this is how it's built. And after that, one student from the university made research. This is the movement of a boy from 9:10 to 9:30 in 20 minutes. So the boy made a 3 round in 20 minutes. It means 600 meter in 20 minutes. And he made a 6 kilometer before lunchtime. So it's quite long distance as a kindergartner.
Surprise not yet to come.
ちょっと待って、何?
No, surprise not yet to come. Actually, average the movement of kids is about 4,000 meters before lunchtime. Okay, I want to talk. That's okay.
Yeah. And this is usual thing in this kindergarten. So, they start, when they come up to the roof, they start running. We don't force them to run, but it's a kind of a spontaneous movement for children. That kind of thing is quite important. But after we built this kindergarten, there are so many visitors from all over the world. And Taka went to China, and
yes, one of the Chinese principal came, and she said, we made this kind of architecture in China, but I'm surprised, there's no music, because in China they have to run. They can run when the music starts. When the music stops, everybody has to stop. And also one direction. Otherwise, they bump each other. What happens? They bump each other. Principal said, "Oh, I don't see any problem. Nobody has died yet."
And after we've built the Fuji Kindergarten, the principal asked us to design our English classroom next to the kindergarten. So we designed a small building around the tree. So we designed this building as for everything. We designed this building with everything in kid scale, everything in smaller scale. So the floor there are 5 meter. It's 5 meter tall building, but we have 7 floors. So the ceiling height is 1.2 meters sometimes, and also the thickness of the floor is 9 millimeter, and the size of the column is 3 centimeter by 3 centimeter. And when we designed this kind of building, we thought there must be a dangerous point for kids. So we brought our kids without helmets and let them play in the building. And he hit his head here, and he complained to us. But we don't need to worry about him. He's very resilient. So because he is our son, so he made bruise, and he's trying to jump off. And then after we confirm the safety, the children get into this building. Yeah, children love small spaces.
Traffic jam.
And he's trying to jump off, and he's helping his friend to climb up. This kind of movement is very important for the children. So she's helping her friend, but she's trying to drag him down. And in this architecture, they don't need to use furniture because architecture works as a furniture.
You know, some students made a question, so I must tell this. You don't see the columns, but actually we have very small column. This is our project, but we did some interesting research with the structural engineer. So column size is only 35 by 35 millimeter. So like this. When this scale of architecture becomes small, all the structure can be very, very small.
Yeah, children always love to touch the ceiling. So usually they can't touch the ceiling. And I talk about this old project, pavilion in Hakone. So this is Kiyomizu Temple. We studied that
It's Kyoto, yeah?
in Kyoto, right? And we studied old joinery. So all the joinery is amazing. They don't use any metal for the joinery.
These days, Osaka exports the Fujimoto ring is quite famous, but that's such that this kind of structure has been in Kyoto quite a long time. They have been doing the almost 1,000 years, and we are showing all project that it's from 2008 actually. No, okay.
Yeah, we studied the joinery and we made a mock-up. So we don't need to use any metal for the joint. So we use wedge to tighten the joinery.
And this is a very new, in diagram. It's 3-dimensionally, it's working as a structure. So it's not, steel structure, completely, timber structure. Okay.
Yeah. And inside we have a wonderful artwork made by artist called Toshiko Horiuchi. Yeah. So she woven this net by hand, and she colored this net. So there are many holes, so children can get into the hole and climb up this net. Yeah, it's a beautiful artwork, and you can see the light from through the timbers. It's like a light in the forest. Yeah. Yeah. You can see wonderful pictures. This is, children look so happy. Yeah, we believe that this is the architecture. Yeah. Okay. And people can sit on the architecture, so we don't need to use benches. Yeah. Fathers are always tired. And this is my boy when he was small. Yeah, he's very cute.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
He's tall now. Okay, now I'm going to take over, and I'm showing a very old project. It's we designed this 2002, and this was this is a very quite famous forest of beauty, and this area known to have the biggest amount of snow in each year. Sometimes snow reaches to 10 meters. And we designed this museum, and we are showing this because some students doesn't know about this project. This is a front cover of the Venice Biennale 2005, I think, and it's a 120-meter long building, and you can see, some locals says it's nice crematorium built, but actually it's just a museum and also a kind of a local school. And you see that always a nice acrylic window on the corner, and it's all weathered. And nice thing about this building is it's bigger in summer, about 20 centimeters. So if you want to see big buildings, you should go in summer. If you want to see building to be smaller, you should go winter, about only 20 centimeters. Okay, you can see now, with clear windows. And in winter, snow start. And start covering architecture. And there's a crevice on the middle. If you coat the snow, you have to wait until May to come out. You have to be careful. And then we got the call from curator. Oh, no, snow is piling up. It is okay, big snow pressure. Yeah, it's okay, we consider this. And then they called me again. Is this okay? And the structure engineer said, yeah, I think it's okay. So we answered, yeah, it's okay, I think. Probably. They called us again, scary. And but when actually the snow reaches to the top of the window, but I found that it's very nice. But at the moment just snow reaches the top, we get very line of the light. It's very nice, and we call it the Tadao Ando effect. Okay, now we start showing us many projects, so we have to speed up. Okay, and this is a kindergarten we designed, I think 2018, something like this, 16 or 18. Just after we completed, we did a lecture here, and the nice thing about this diagram that all these classrooms can be allocated as you like. So there's no X1, X and Y, and it's totally free. So also nice thing about the school is that the no dead end. So this is like umbrella. So kids running around. It's squares, no round shape, no square shape. Round and round. And also, a part of the diagram, as a part of diagram, we have ponding like this. And it's safe, there is no edge. And the father is saying, you have to come to me. No. And he comes back. That is quite natural. So everything we designed about the movement of the people. And this is we design many churches, and this church is. We have tried to make this church to be quite modest, so we use the small pieces of the timber, and so it works for good acoustic, so absorb the sound. You have to think about the acoustic all the time, quite nicely, okay. And the lights come down, and a pastor looking very nice, and his name is Peter Cook. Peter Cook. He's very good pastor. And you can see the details. So we always test the acoustic. So the church is not about just only the light. The acoustic is very, very important. And also another church, in the Kyushu, this church helps homeless. We have a lot of stories, but we don't have time to talk about. But nice thing about this church is that we have a nice a pond for baptism. But the pastor said that this is very nice baptism water, because people baptize by themselves. They think it's a part of the floor. They step in the water. Baptized by themselves. And also another church, they wanted to be they wanted church to be, before the Catholic. So said then okay, we can refer to Egyptian temple, and we went to some old churches in Croatia, and then her name is Maria, happened to be Maria, and then the lights come in, but this is very Egyptian style, but actually it's related to that story of the Bible. Lights, very sequel. And the wall is inclined so that sound reflects right way. So it's really designed for the pipe organ inside. So next church, okay, this is very important. And then eventually we came to this. For a long time we trapped in the modern movement. So somehow people says, oh no, you shouldn't do artwork. So sometimes people says, you design, you should design only architecture, not painting. But for us, actually, especially for me, painting is no different from architecture. So I wanted everything to be one. And then we got the request, we want a church named after the pastor who started the Protestant in Japan 170 years ago. And so then we started drawing this. It's 52-meter wide drawing, taking 6 months. This is not AI. I was reading Bible and depicting Eden Garden dot by dot. So it's quite a big painting. And after this, we built this. And this is a glass box, so it's completely sealed, but so you don't hear sound from inside. So a pair of the glasses, very thick, and inside we have timber panel. And after that, like this, and all these patterns are derived from the Bible. And inside, in daytime, you see lights coming in. So this is a story when just Adam and Eve are going out from forest, because school has a story. And the pastor came, he put the seed on the ground, and it became a tree, and it became a forest. That is the university you are in. And the students are protected in the school, and they get knowledge, and then get exiled. In the Bible, it's a story of the tragedy, but it's the beginning of the civilization. So we worked on this story. So everything is based on the Bible. So I can't show it all details. But the good thing about this building is that you don't need to follow the light. Always light follows you. Wherever you go, light follows, just like in the forest. See how it's designed? So in this project, there's no boundary between artwork and architecture. I think that for a long time we were trapped in the kind of rule of modernism. But we're not talking about decoration, the creation. Sometimes we get artists to work on architecture, but I think we can do both. I think that is what we are trying to do. We try to do on this church project. You can see just going back to the light, how it's looking like. Okay. This also got many prizes. Okay, this one, another funny, computer graphics. Actually, and one of the, museum producer came to us. I want you to design as a kids museum. Yeah, but I don't like kids museum because kids museum is another school. On the weekend they should have fun. So I said, so I like to design a zoo instead of, the museum, a zoo, but usually lions and rhinos and giraffe, these are very expensive. We don't have the budget for it. Now don't worry, you have nice animals in your house. So we put the kids inside the dish, and we let them play, and their parents can drink outside, like a zoo. So this is the museum, actually, and I'm running this museum, the director. I was supposed to be just an architect. Now I'm doing a curation, things going on. And and also we see that there are some spontaneous movement. This boy keeps running around. We didn't tell him to run, but just they do it. And the soft surface, they love to do it. And the mother want to do the same. This is not how kimono was designed. And that's the best part is yet to come, jump. And also we invite some musicians. And some people says, kids don't like classic music. But I realized they love classic music. Just they don't have seat number. So we turned this dish into kind of music hall, so we can house 300. And then kids come to the music, right? You can see that? And everybody got the different posture and sitting, and my wife is sleeping, not listening to classic music. And so, they keep moving around. You can see that they love to sliding down. And this museum is very full. And this is selected as the best museum of the year in Japan. Now we collaborate with many in a museum in the world. Some Carnegie Museum and also some museum in Taiwan. And we are making a new one in Kazakhstan. And so we did some similar in Dubai. And we didn't invite famous, expensive artists, and we create things with kids. At this, we are using balloons and wrappings. Okay, and nice thing about museums, they are allowed to do. They were not supposed to do. You can see that this boy is very happy because this is a toilet roll. And also the disaster on the weekend. And also, there's a girl, showing a greedy face. This is mine. And also invite famous musicians. She was selected as the best jazz pianist in the world in New York City. And you can see a small girl. See? She's trying to cheer everybody up. Okay? It's amazing, no? And also, and then the kids come to the music like ants. So this is the interactive museum. Okay? Another one. Okay? This I'm going to show it all Belge, but this is not just only all Belge. It's about peace treaty. The owner used to set up a table for the peace treaty between the Soviet Union and the United States. And the Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev was mediated by Japanese Prime Minister Nakasone, and that is how Cold War ended. So the owner of the restaurant wanted the same again. So he was really hoping to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine. But we couldn't do that because Prime Minister was assassinated. So he's gone, and so peace treaty didn't happen. But there's a story that, from 1980s, Reagan and also Prime Minister, they became naked and taking hot bath, and becoming human. They talk about the peace, between humans. So there is no difference. It worked. So, just we made some nice pasta, and in Japanese architecture. But this is not just on the bathtub. It's like a place you can stay right next to the river. Not river, actually, I would say stream. Very nice landscape. More than 1 kilometer, and the owner owns this. And you go in, and some people say Japanese architecture is kind of tradition, but it's not. It's kind of a way to understand nature. So mostly outside, you go in, courtyard, stay outside, and you see eave, and the edge of the eave is very low. It's up 1.5, so if you stand, you can only look down the valley. And this is where you take a hot bath, so you disappear into nature. And again, you can see that the long eave. So you are watching the nature and the forest, like a nice folding I can say folded screen, Japanese style. So mostly outside, and there's a nice table. And the owner said Japanese architecture is not just only Japanism. No, sometimes we should introduce other cultures. So it's not entirely, Japan, but I think it's nice. And they try to use traditional ceramics. Sometimes you get 2,000 years old ceramic when you get the food. And I draw paintings, old style Japanese painting, and showing the darkness and the light in the morning. And also, I wanted to show you some cuisines they are making. It's very, very simple. It's a fish, and some vegetables, and onions. Very, very simple, but takes 3 days to make this, they said. And also in snow. It's sometimes, it's nice to be in cold weather, right next to fire. That's the beauty of it, So when it's cold, you understand the peace, because you see the difference. Okay, so I think the time is getting too much, so just I rush. There's another project in the Tomioka. They are known to have the oldest, silk factory in Asia. This is where, they started labor law for the first time in Asia 150 years ago, and the monocoque structure, timber. And this side is historical, another side is a futuristic. And as you go in, so this is 100% timber structure. Also this is quite rational, but yet it looks complex, but nothing is redundant. So these days there's some timber architecture with steel reinforcement or some finishes, adjusted timber as a finishes, but this is 100% pure timber building. And the nice thing of timber structure is that there is no discontinuity from details to the finishes. Now we're coming close to the end, and this is a project in Dubai we completed recently. We couldn't take many pictures because in a very exclusive school, and it doesn't look like a school building, okay? But the idea is school without wall. So you can see that each circle represents classroom. Now as you can see that so we had to keep the shape of the building, actually listed building in Dubai. So so this is how just the building became circle, okay, and this is showing how the building become a part of nature. And this is a sketch we did for in the classroom. And this is still computer graphics we did at the beginning, but I want to show you the context. And they told me we have to make oasis And then Dubai is very hot, so sometimes we can get outside. So we use a mirror to bring the light in, and then upside down oasis inside. And this is now this actual movie is from under construction, but you can see how it's built. And also, I need to show you this. You know, the Middle East, they have a very long tradition of the cosmology, and they understood that the sun, the planet was turning around the sun more than 1,000 ago. So it wasn't Galileo Galilei start saying a planet is turning around the sun, and they knew that more than 1,000 years ago, and this represents how they understand the sky, stars, and then we drew seating plan. Okay, you don't start with seating plan, but this was important for the project, and then we started drawing plan, and then we draw seating, and then how the light comes in, and this is classroom. There is no wall between classrooms, and of course this is up to elementary school, but this was quite innovative, even in Dubai. So I think this is the first kind in the world with that wall. And the center, we have a space like a museum. We did some events, so everything is spontaneous on the center. And also, I'm going to show you another project in India, in Ahmedabad. No, and there's a problem with Ahmedabad. The water table went down very low, so you can't get water on the surface. So we said, well, let's get the water back with reforestation. This is how site is looking like. The calendar just plan is a bit different, but it's ongoing. And we are trying to make sanctuary on the middle. So on the middle, we have 100% indigenous forest, and then we have some perimeter. So we did some research, how the nature can be, original, and also how we can connect the nature to connect to the urban situation. So this is, and you can see that enclosed garden, secret garden, and also this school planning is very interesting. Might be very interesting for you. Okay, this is a diagram made by the local pedagogical specialist. They want to make clusters, so 5 classrooms to be connected like this, and on center they gather around. Then we designed the classrooms exactly like this. The diameter of this main building is about 100 meters, and many classrooms, but yet it's not lined up. And they are trying to, talk each other. And then
Humbucker size P9.
Sorry, who is it? It's okay? Okay. It's not me. Then you can see that and how, the building is made. There is no tree, so you can't use timber structure. But I think concrete is very okay, and it's very close to the project by, Corbusier, in Ahmedabad, in the Salabai house. You can see that how the building is becoming a part of nature. Okay, this is the last project we're going to talk about. Okay, and we are raising money for this orphanage. They was listening to my TED talk, and they needed a new school building because of the earthquake. It's tilted down, and we invited. So it's very, very far from the city, 500 kilometers from the closest city. And this place is actually, we have to go through the very high place. It's about 4,300 of sea level. This is a monk, and then he started school about almost 20 years ago. And there's a movie about him, Okay, and I want you to watch this movie. okay? And then this you can see that how deep in the Himalaya mountain, this is where the school is, built, and he picks up the orphan one by one, very poor. Only 50% of the kids can make 5 years old. And also, just they take care of the children having so many problems. And then kids help each other, and while they are studying, they take care of small children. So they are like a big family, 125 kids. This is showing this family is asking to take care of the boy because they can't raise the boy anymore. They are grandparents.
My most difficult job is when and how to accept new kids. When I say yes, it means equally say I will save this kid's life. When I say no, it's about saying no is equal to saying that no, I don't want to save this boy.
And then this old lady lost 7 kids, and it's the grandmother. And then last one was lost. So it's very, very serious place. Many kids died, and then they are doing grieving, into the funeral. And now here's these happy-looking kids.
And go back to my childhood and really live my childhood fully. But one thing that now I know is that I could help to give these children their childhood.
And we are raising money. So, if you come visit my website and you have a connection, you have a link to this community, and I hope you can help them. And I raised about $3.8 million now, and we need a little more.
I'm lucky
it's
that
far
we
from
have
city.
85 children now, and I miss only one childhood, but I got opportunity to live 85 childhood.
So now we invited, and they organized Yui's birthday party. And for the first time, they are seeing such a kind of big cake and a big welcome. Takes 4 days to get there. And then, they're having a nice time. The sanitation is a bit different from France. And my project architect is looking very, very happy. You can see that Portuguese guy. And we did some exercise with students. It's not easy, the high ground. I was third. So now it's coming, to the point. We are not helping this school because they are poor, because there are so many poor communities. But they are making the best education in the world. That is what I found out. Idea is share. They share everything. And the basic thinking is love and compassion. Love and compassion. This is called shunya in the Hindu. Shunya. And also local language. It means zero. And when you are in zero, you can accept many things. And also you're sharing things instead of taking something from others. So sharing. And this monk is explaining to very important other monks. And actually, he used to represent the Dalai Lama in Boston. He's back from Boston. And then here, he was showing the philosophy. In the Tibetan Buddhism, they do debate, and they share the idea. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Do you understand? It's prime number. Okay? With that prime number, they share idea quite well. So they put idea first, curiosity, and then digest the idea. So this is knowledge. And then next is very important. You have to share. And then knowledge becomes wisdom. So wisdom is for others. These days, people try to find a way to put knowledge in school. But they said, wisdom is more important. Wisdom is about sharing. So with this way, this school became one of the best in India as orphanage. 500 kilometers from city, and we find the best school, one of the best schools in India. 9 out of 10 best students in that region are from this school. So it's amazing. So I tested this shape back in school building. Actually, this is my studio buildings, and where students from Rabilet come to. We have big space, and we tested. And so we are not working with square and distance, and also table shape. And back in India, we tested. And then this is how we designed the classrooms. You can see, the classrooms are not square anymore, different sizes. It multiplies like cells of living tissue. This is a plan, and then so they need to have a courtyard because wind is very, very strong over there, Himalayan mountain between India and China. Actually, it's war zone. China thinks a part of China, India thinks a part of India. That is one of the reasons why they're very poor. And this is a plan, and that curve shape has meaning because it's on the top of the hill, and you need to make a stone structure to be carved, to be structural. I show you this like an old Indian castle, and we are saying it's very important to refer to all the way to build the buildings. And in the time of earthquake, they lost so many modern buildings. They couldn't buy enough steel bars. But old buildings stood. This is 300 years old. So we found out old structure is good because there have been many earthquakes. They're prepared for it. So we did some research, and this is how they gather materials. All stone, very soft stone. And they have local concrete. And this is how I sketched. And on this project, we are not going to use any steel bar except the base. Okay, base structure need to be concrete, and the legal reason. But above there, we use stone and the local concrete and the local timber, and the small timbers, and then we make sure all the money stays in the community. And we tested all this. Actually, we organized a TV program, and so that it can be shared throughout the world. And also we organized a TED Talk, and we are doing this with students. Actually, some of them are French students, Rabilet. And you can see that the kids are quite curious about what we are presenting. You can see the curious face.
We could transform society for the better.
So at the end, I'm showing this small, movie.
This house was built 40 years ago when my daughter was born. This side is quite long towards the south and north, and the view is north side. So we try to let the light in from the south, so we make the soul roof shape, and the sunlight comes through the skylight. The original idea for this house is every space is one altogether, and so we have a long table like this. Everything happens around this table.
We like to design architecture for permanence. Of course, there is no permanence, but I would say continuity. Of course, we can design this greenhouse.
But the house is not just about styles, you know. The living style changes. This is a place to raise children. It's a nest, not design.
Just recently, we made children's rooms.
Yeah, the thing is, we're supposed to have only one bedroom, so we had to divide into three. And when we got the first child, one of my friends gave me a good comment. You know, you're going through the most beautiful moment of your life, and the time will last 10 years, and the time will never come back. And I think as we are feeling that first 10 years, you know, how it's changed. And my son is 11 years old. You know, it's at the time we have to separate the rooms for each members. So that's the first step of separation. But still, it's home, you know? So we try to divide the rooms into three pieces with just the furnitures. But you know, there are quite nice tricks between rooms. Because it's made of furniture, we can make a small window, you know, so it can be just wall thing. So still the conversation is going on. So we try to maintain a bit of you know, privacy and also a bit of communication all the time. We like to design a house capable of carrying memories. You know, usually we have to design, you know, bedrooms for family members, and we happen to have just only one bedroom, so we have to share everything. But we realize it's good for family. You know, in the modern society, always there's separation between the family members. But I remember, maybe it's the old Japanese member, and we used to share space in Japanese house. You know, we used to have only paper partitions. And the bedroom was supposed to be living room in daytime. So we learn how to help each other, how to talk each other, how we can live together. And that helps us to live in Japanese society. Japan is a very small island, so if we don't cope with others, we can't live. Oneness.
I thought the house should be the kind of space they learned how to communicate and how to take care of another.
The bonding formed in this room is going to last quite a long time.
You know, we couldn't show all the projects we have done because we have done already 240 projects, more than 240 projects, and also we have projects in 4 countries now. But and I think it's better. As we thought, it's better to limited numbers of works so that we can give you the idea of sharing. Architecture is not the thing, but the event. And when you share, you know, you get more. Now, when we design school, it's very important to understand the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And when you share knowledge, it becomes wisdom. And if you start sharing everything, rest of the world, I think world become peace. And we are showing the last project in India, you know. And the project we are working on is it's about the sharing, the love and the compassion. And we are dreaming that we can make a peace conference 500 kilometers away from the city. And when it's completed, it may take 3 or 4 years, but I think that is the way. That is where, you know, new time, new era of the world is going to start. Thank you very much.